Dr. Reem Alansari is a board certificate radiologist. She graduated medical school from Imam Abdulrahman bin Faisal University in Dammam, Saudi Arabia. She did a fellowship in clinical simulation in the BWH, a Harvard Medical School affiliated teaching hospital in Boston. Dr. Al-Ansari also worked as faculty as a part of the teaching team both in the medical education and global health research master's program at the Harvard Med School. She has been proudly representing AGU and the JCC region at Harvard University as a master's in medical education scholar and at the Harvard Macy Institute as a two-time scholar and the leader in innovation and educators in the healthcare professions. It's nice to meet you, Dr. Reem Al-Ansari, and it's our honor to have you today with us. You can start your speak, please.
Thank you so much for that kind introduction, and thank you for the organizing committee for inviting me to speak here today. It is quite an honor to be Zooming in front of you guys today. So before I share my screen, I want to share a little story with everyone. So a few years ago, on the day that I found out that I've passed my boards in radiology, I remember that I was holding my phone and hitting that refresh button over and over again, seeing if I've passed. And when I saw that I did, I celebrated, so happy, but for a few minutes. And after that, I asked myself, great, now what? And what is next for me? So to answer that question, I took a step back and I reflected on the times where I truly felt fulfilled. At the times that I left the hospital and said, that was a great day. And I'm a very passionate person. I've always wanted to be a strong agent of change. I'm very passionate about patient safety, quality, empowering those around me. So to my surprise, the moments that brought me the most joy were actually the times where I was sitting with students, teaching them both formally and informally. The times where I was questioning what worked and what is not working in my own education, and finding solutions to problems that I faced as a learner and as a healthcare provider. And to me, those insights were really significant. So in the next 10 minutes, I'm going to share with you a little bit about what MedEd is and why I love it so much. I'm going to share the pros and cons, as with any specialty, maybe a little bit more. It comes with its own challenges. There are cons, believe me. And as you hear my path, you're going to think, whoa, that is a longer path than I kind of want to do. However, there are a few things that you can do right now as a medical student to get you thinking and maybe inspire you about medical education. So with that intro, I am going to share my screen. Share screen. Yeah, thank you for giving me those. Okay. So a career in MedEd, finding fulfillment towards better patient care through medical education. Okay, so when I think about why I do MedEd, I feel that almost all or most of the difficulties that we face as learners and healthcare providers stem from learning deficiencies, and that all of them can be treated by education and by better learning. So medical education is a very broad and far-reaching field, with the main aim being to improve patient safety and patient care through research, training, and inspiring medical students and doctors. So what do? The points that you see on that slide are just general domains of what medical education is about on the surface. And then on this slide full of stuff, these are just a few areas of what medical educators around the world work on every day through research, innovation, and scholarly teaching. So all of this stuff you see here is just a bit of what medical educators do. But honestly, what MedEd is truly about for me, and what I really believe that it is about, is a true commitment to giving back, a true commitment to empowering those around you, distributing leadership, increasing productivity and collaboration, and empowering your institution and your region. So that the ultimate goal is always that through better medical education, we get better doctors, we get safer and better patient care. So there are pros and cons. Dedicating a lot of your time into hopefully being a medical education consultant provides you with career flexibility. You have more control on your time. and on your involvement from research versus training versus curricula, faculty development. And the future is really wide and ever changing. So there's a lot of room for creativity, which I personally value. So the cons are, unlike ophthalmology, it is by no means a one-man show. You have to be very comfortable with teamwork, collaborations, sharing credit, and even giving credit to others. Making people or helping people rise up, empowering programs, watching departments flourish should be a source of joy for any medical educator. Another con that it does affect clinical hours. And if you do go for formal training, you kind of like step out of their clinical hours for a little bit, and then it'll be hard to go back. So to be very honest, it is preferably it is preferable to have an institution to back you up. It is not easy to be a freelance medical educator. You can't open your own clinic. So you do want to be affiliated and committed by probably a long-term contract or relationship to a university or institution, just as I am really proud and fortunate to have the support of faculty and administration of the Arabian Gulf University. So by any means, it is not enough to say, great, I enjoy teaching, let me see. So when you're questioned about your interest and commitment to formal educational roles, as with any specialty, med ed is becoming more and more professionalized and formal. So it is really important to have evidence of your commitment, your skill, and your experience as well. So this is the path I took. I went to med school at Imam Abdulrahman bin Faisal University. I did my internship split between King Fahd University Hospital in Dammam and McGill, Montreal, Canada. So I am a proud Arab board graduate in radiology. And then I did my fellowship at the BWH, which is a Harvard Medical School affiliated hospital. So I'm a senior at the Masters of Medical Education program at Harvard Medical School, and that is me. The Gordon Hall of Harvard Medical School is the beautiful building behind me, and all of that snow. I never realized that I love snow so much. It's cold, but it is very beautiful, and these are some of my best friends that I've made from the program. So the thing is that a program like this or a career like this usually will end up with, if you really want to make a change and an impact, you really want to get a PhD at the end of the line. So it is another 4 to 5 year commitment to get that as well. So you might think, oh, great, this is so long. I'm a medical student right now. Tell me something I can use. So what can you do now as a learner? Believe me, you can do a lot. There are so many ways that you can get involved in med ed. As a doctor or med student, you already have been on the receiving end of medical education as a learner, and you've also contributed and given back through teaching others and committees, just like the wonderful people that organized this today. So you will have some great ideas about your own experiences, what's helpful, what wasn't helpful, what was motivating, and what was demotivating. So I invite you to start now by being more involved in research and supporting one another in learning communities, societies. So that is great if you're interested in med ed, and also great on your CV if you want to apply to any other residency. So my last slide is about, okay, if you do consider something in med ed, where do I go? So if you want to apply to a good program like the one offered at Harvard Medical School, UPenn, or Maastricht, you probably need to be done with your boards and your specialty. You have to have proof of a strong interest in research. It is a highly competitive field. It's new and competitive, especially if you want a local program, like the one at Harvard, where you compete with candidates within the US and within the Harvard system, as most of the graduates of the Harvard program end up being leaders in that institution. So my advice at the end, take it or leave it, is like, don't apply somewhere without doing your homework. Read about the program, read about the university, read about the city really carefully, talk to alumni of the program, and then consider if the institute has or the program's goals or what they offer aligns with what you are interested in well, and see if those two align. So I can only speak about my own experience. I found that I fit into Harvard and Harvard fits me, not because of the name. It's because it has a heavy focus on research, the humanities in med ed, and the science behind med ed. I also know Boston, and I feel more comfortable in the US. I wouldn't feel that comfortable in Europe, for example. So if you go somewhere abroad, I invite you not to just go there as an somewhere that you can get experience and learn and absorb. You want to go and contribute. So you want to learn and work on teamwork and collaboration as well. Actually, when you work and you collaborate with the people there, you learn more. So during my time in Boston, I've been on an academic team on the faculty side of a program that I was once a student in the past. I've represented my program through Harvard at many international training events. I've presented at seminars at the BWH Hospital. And with two of my colleagues, we've collaborated with the Faculty Development Department of Harvard and created a learning module that will hopefully be adopted for faculty around of all the Harvard affiliated hospitals. So don't think about what it can do for you, just think about what you can do for them, because when you do, you learn in the process. So thank you for listening. And if you value collaboration, if you have an open mind to the fact that people learn, grow, and practice in different ways and at different paces, if you love supporting that, if you believe that everything is subject to change, and that thinking out of the box is something you normally do, I invite you to think about MedEd. Thank you so much. Okay, let me stop sharing. And that concludes my presentation.
Thank you, Doctor, so much.
You're welcome.
You. It's good that we saw the other parts in medicine, the academic parts, and see how you guys are really enjoying it. Are there any questions from the students?
I don't think there are any questions. So, great, I saved some time.
Thank you. If anyone has any question, please, you can write it in the chat. And it was nice seeing you again, Dr. Reem. You're really missed in AGU. We hope to see you soon, inshallah. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.